Hello, everyone, and welcome. We are joined today by the wonderful Katherine Ryan,
Hello.
and we will be talking about all things food today. So we'll be reviewing your creations through lockdown, but also touching upon your campaign as well that you've just launched today. So first of all, tell us, how have you been? How's lockdown been going?
I can't complain about lockdown. I mean, to be very honest with you, I don't love it, but I'm in a better position than some. I think about key workers and nurses and doctors and teachers all the time. And so what can I say? I'm at home cooking gusto.
Brilliant. So in terms of what you've been eating then, have you been getting more adventurous? I know in the beginning a lot of people were making banana bread. Were you getting involved in that one?
I want to know who is Banana Bread's agent, because that lady or man has been working so hard. The PR behind Banana Bread is just through the roof. Banana Bread's having a great buzz, a really hot year. I haven't made it because I don't like bread. I love bananas, but if there's only one food that I will not eat, and that is bread.
So I guess you've not hopped on the other one, which was sourdough as well. Did you not get involved in that one? I know it takes ages to make as well.
Absolutely not. I mean, think about a food that has to be harvested. You can send someone a starter of yeast, and then it just festers, and it's got the word sour in it, and it's got the word dough in it. Have these people never heard of crisps? I didn't know sourdough. No.
I noticed as well, you do like reviewing crisps. Have you been doing that a lot recently?
What are you trying to say? I mean, yes.
No, you've got a series.
Yeah, no, my husband and I, my current husband, I just got married a year and a bit ago. It's been a lovely honeymoon. Marriage is exactly how I thought it would be. I'm not allowed to see my friends or work. I have to stay home and cover my face. But we love crisps, and he's Canadian as I am. But I've lived here 14 years, so I know all about the British crisps, but he doesn't. And so I was introducing all these different flavors like ham and mustard and Chardonnay and malted vinegar. There's some wild crisps, monster ones, lots of, like, so many, and he's loved most of them. And the crisp reviews get a lot of feedback. Who knew Brits were so passionate about their crisps?
I was gonna say, what was your first thought kind of moving to the UK from Canada? I know that there's a lot of controversial British foods. What did you kind of make of it when you first came in?
Well, it turns out that Britain has such a varied and diverse food culture, but I didn't know that when I first came, because I think I was shy, and I was going to little markets, and I only knew about pub food. So it's the first time that I'd seen Scotch eggs and a lot of pies everywhere, meat inside bread. And then I heard about spotted dick and toad in holes, and I just felt a little bit intimidated.
Anyone would be, to be fair. So the reason we're here today, if you're just joining us, we want to know what you're eating during lockdown. We want to know what you've been creating. Have you had any disasters? I know I have. We've got a little one there from Marie, who sent in her Cuban soup. Cuban and lasagna soup? Is that a thing?
No, she made two soups there. She's made a Cuban soup. She's also made a lasagna soup. They can't be the same soup. You can't have a Cuban Italian soup, can you?
I'm not sure. I want to know how a lasagna soups work. Maybe it's layered in between different things. I'm not sure, but I would love to see.
Yeah.
So we're going to be taking a look in a second at some of the creations that people have sent in so far. You can be the first one is from me, so you can be as savage as you like. This one here, this is a vintage of lockdown. I still get ripped for this, even though it was almost a year ago now. This was me trying to make sort of a creamy pasta out of the only food that I had in my house, which was pot noodles and mayonnaise. I mean, what's your verdict on this cry for help?
Those were pieces of chicken, maybe. I could see that it was a pot noodle, but it looks like you've chopped the pot noodles up, and there's a real unsettling bubble in the mixture. I mean, I admire that you demonstrated a willingness to avoid food wastage. You tried to make a recipe with what you had in the cupboard. I know that's successful for some. I think I'm most concerned with the text of the tweet that says bone apple tea.
I mean, that is what that is what you say, isn't it? Before you
No, do you
enjoy
not
it.
any French?
I have to admit, French is not my first language.
No.
Shamefully.
Well, you tried. You tried with that dish, so
I
well
did
done.
try. So in terms of, have you tried anything weird? Have you gone kind of outside of your comfort zone during lockdown?
I mean, we're very lucky that we cook with Gusto recipe boxes, so it could not be more delicious and straightforward. And we make beautiful things. My husband does a lot of the cooking actually, because I've been in lockdown, but I'm usually upstairs, like working out the homeschooling with my daughter or writing my book or doing something. And he's so wonderful. But there have been times that I've tried, and I don't feel like you need to read instructions. That's my main thing with cooking. I'm like, oh no, I understand what to do. I could just wing it. And then I always end up making a mistake. I made a gravy, and you're meant to have the corn flour and first mix it with a bit of butter and then add the stock and the water. And I did that all backwards, and that had chunks in it. And I also put much too much salt in a pumpkin pie over Canadian Thanksgiving, and no one would eat that. And a lot of times I'll make a savory pastry when I meant to make a sweet one. I do need to pay closer attention, I think, because all the instructions are available.
It is really easy actually, because you get the little cards, don't you? And it kind of, it's like idiot proof. Like I feel like even I can do it. So we've got a comment here from Matthew. He's asking if you'll be looking forward to Comedy in the Park events this year.
Yes, we've had a lot of events pushed back. Obviously, none of us know exactly what's going on, but we're very confident that Comedy in the Park will go ahead. And I'm excited to do my own tour in the autumn, but I really miss being on mixed bills with other comedians too, and that's what Comedy in the Park is. I know John Bishop's involved, and he's just absolutely one of the most wonderful men I've ever met in my life, and one of my favorite comedians. I just can't wait.
Oh, amazing. So in terms of kind of, I know obviously we've said like, I think we're not working kind of in the NHS, and we're very, very lucky with how we've been in lockdown. Like the worst thing that's happened to me basically is having an awful pot noodle, which I think we can agree is not the end of the world. So in terms of kind of how your year's changed, like how has it affected, obviously you've been working with Netflix in the past, how has it kind of changed TV shows, things like that?
Well, we film a lot from home now, which I've set this lovely studio up in my breakfast room. This is like some of the garden, if you're interested. This is my makeup artist, Fiona. But we're in a bubble. But I know I miss other comedians, and I miss comedy audiences. I miss comedy clubs, and that pub culture is so special for live stand-up. You need an audience. I've been offered to do virtual gigs, and I think it's tough. I don't think it's the same. I really miss that energy, and nothing gets me down ever. I'm very lucky and I'm happy all the time. But if I'm struggling a little bit now, then I think it's time. I think about everyone, especially with the cold weather. I think it's having to give it that extra push.
For sure. So we've got another Rate My Plate coming up. So this one is a tuna poke bowl, which looks amazing. This is from Jamie. Can we get a look at that a little bit closer as well?
I mean, that is delicious, delicious. And it is pronounced poke. It's a Japanese bowl. And so my only criticism of this, I mean, there's so many vegetables, a lot of texture and flavor and color, but I wish that he hadn't cooked the tuna, because I love a bit of sashimi in a poke bowl, and I'd like to see some sauce on there too. Like, where's the miso? Maybe it's on.
So what are you going to rate this one out of 10? Obviously, beautiful presentation here.
I'm sorry to give it a 9. It deserves a 10, but I need some raw fish.
And have we got another one coming up next? I think we've got another one possibly.
So arbitrary. I feel bad giving it a 9.
Wow. I mean, this on first glance looks like a bowl of Jaffa cakes. However, I think that this is a Jaffa cake trifle. I mean, for me, but how about you? Do you eat Jaffa cakes? If you don't eat bread, do you eat Jaffa cakes?
Jaffa cakes do have gluten in them, but I'm not actually gluten intolerant. I just don't like bread. I love a Jaffa cake. When I first moved to this country, it's one of the little snacks I get from the corner shop. Can't go wrong with a Jaffa cake trifle. I love to think you invented it. I think that might be some caramel drizzled on top and maybe some chocolate sauce. Love custard. Love a Jaffa cake. Love the chocolate and orange flavor. It doesn't look maybe amazing, but I give that a 10 out of 10 if you brought it to my house.
It's probably a little surprise as well, because you'd go in to maybe get the Jaffa cake out and then be met with a lot of cream. Oh, we've got another one here. So we've got a lockdown lasagna from James, I think. If we get a little look at that, it looks massive. Unless you have a tiny hob, that looks like it could feed a family.
Yeah, it's difficult to see exactly how the structure and layering is working in the lasagna. If I was Gordon Ramsay, I'd need to, of course, cut out a slice, lift it up, and see the integrity of this lasagna. But it looks like it's perfectly cooked. It looks like it's got lovely crispy cheese layer on top. I mean, I wish I could see the inside. I don't want to get too intimate with you, but I would give that, based on what I can see, a 7 out of 10.
Yeah. So we've probably got another one coming up, but there is a reason, if you're just joining us, why we are talking about people's food today. I know you're part of a campaign to kind of help people out. Do you want to kind of have a little chat about that?
Oh, it's so special. This is an amazing initiative. Gusto has launched Cook Starter, and the Cook Starter campaign is to support small businesses, independent restaurants, local restaurants. And that is a cause so close to my heart. I know we've all seen our local high streets changing a bit, and we don't want to see that trend continue. So you can go online to gustocookstarter.co.uk and you can nominate your Can't Live Without independent or local restaurants. The top 5 most loved will receive £10,000 each, marketing support, and a year of mentorship. Also, their best dish will be included on Gusto menus for everyone to enjoy at home. So this is something that's going to give a real kick to Britain's diverse food industry. And I know that independent restaurants will benefit from this so much. It's such a tangible initiative to help them.
Definitely. So how did you kind of get involved with this? Because I suppose for most people, if they see you, they kind of think of you as a comedian. How did you kind of get involved?
Well, I love Gusto, number one, and my husband and I were always Instagramming Gusto. I was doing, some shirtless, here's Gusto Dad, because, he looks so fit cooking, and he was making incredible food. And I love to share with my friends and people online what I'm doing, brands and things and foods that I genuinely care about. And I genuinely care about small businesses. I don't want to see them go through any more hardship than they've already been through. So then when Gusto told me about the Cook Starter campaign, I had to very passionately get behind it. Believe it or not, I care about people a lot.
No, definitely. And it's a really good job as well. I think we've got another plate coming up if you're ready to review. So this one here, it looks like someone who's created their own pizza. So Erin has tried to fool her body into thinking that she's eating a pizza by using a tortilla wrap. Again, this may be not one for you if you don't eat gluten, but this is looking quite beautiful, I think.
I think it's like colorful. Tortilla is way less offensive to me than pizza dough anyway. So already she's getting points. It looks like Erin's got lovely basil, some sun-dried tomato. I love avocado and peppers. I think the only mistake, is that little chopped onions or garlic? The only mistake you've made, Erin, is calling it a pizza. Why trick your body when you can put that together and have a beautiful veggie wrap? You've made a veggie wrap accidentally. It's just an open-faced veggie wrap. I think stick an egg on that. You've got a frittata. You can make a Spanish omelet if you've got some potato. I love it. I think 10 out of 10.
Oh, amazing. So yeah, we've got another one now, maybe a bit of a more unusual one coming up, or another good one. Oh, another good one. I think this is Jane again, the inventor of the Jaffa cake trifle. So this is one she made. This is one she made yesterday.
See, now I'm worried about Jane because this sticky toffee pudding has gin in it, and it makes me think perhaps there was some orange liqueur, maybe vodka hiding in the Jaffa cake trifle, which only makes me respect Jane even more. This looks nice. Sticky toffee pudding is very British. And I don't eat it often, but it looks like a beautiful one. I love that she's paired it with a vanilla bean ice cream Jane is a dessert magician. 10 out of 10.
She's a guru. We're getting this ahead of time. She's gonna be on Bake Off next year. Or
Oh my God.
even. Jane, you need to go on Bake Off. You need to show Paul the Jaffa cake trifle and get that handshake.
That is a dream, an achievable dream. I love Bake Off, and you could be on there.
So it looks like we've got 2 more. Let's have a look at what we've got next. Oh, so this one's from Ed. He said, "Rate my parenting." So I'm guessing this one's for his kids. He's utilized the alphabet here to create a masterpiece. I mean, what are you thinking of this nutritional delight?
I think it's good parenting, whatever gets the lunch in them. I don't think it's reached quite the standard of Mrs. Hinch or Stacey Solomon. I see a lot of these mommy bloggers making such intricate meals for their children, turning vegetables into characters from television, and you want to go and see what they're making. This is a really good effort, though. It seems like something that wasn't taking Ed too long, but the child certainly have a laugh at and enjoy. I'd like to see a little more color on the plate. You can get kids eating vegetables. You can. If I was the parent and my child had just eaten brown food all day, I might be, but what can you do? I would never judge a parent too harshly. I'll give that one a 9.5.
For creativity and flair. We like it. Okay.
Yeah, have a laugh with your lunch. Why not?
So you said then again about like kind of the mummy bloggers. I've definitely seen those videos where it's like, they're making massive meals where it's like intricate. They're like bunny rabbits, rice into weird shapes and stuff.
Yeah.
Have you ever been tempted to try something like that for your daughter, or has she got what's her taste in terms of food?
Well, she's 11 years old now, so she eats gusto along with us. She eats anything that we eat for dinner. We don't give her special meals. One thing that I do feel disappointed by in some restaurants is the kids menu is so much it's way less healthy than the adult menu. So I try to get her to order little things off the adult menu. And I used to maybe shape cucumber slices with a cookie cutter. I would never go to more effort than that. I think she and my husband both like pizza. So on a pizza night, if we do order in, he will allow half the pizza to have sweet corn on it. She loves that, and it really offends him, but he's like, all right, you can have sweet corn. That's the most effort that we go to. I mean, remember that children have to fit into your life. It's not the other way around. You have to pander to them and cater to them all day long. Make them eat what you eat. My mother made me eat whatever. If I didn't eat it, she wrapped it up, put it in the fridge, and I would see it again for breakfast.
So is she, because I know you said previously in interviews, she's very British. Have you got her trying out Canadian food or anything? What is kind of Canadian food? What is there anything that you miss? Obviously with lockdown, it's harder to go home for you. Is there anything that you kind of try out and it kind of is like the taste of home?
I mean, I think Canadian food is probably indigenous food. They would eat seal meat, or eating seal in indigenous culture is just like eating chicken, I think. But people who are like me in Canada were colonized. So we have British taste, really. We eat a lot of potato. And I think from the cod industry, we eat a lot of fish over there. And a lot of our food is to do with the cold weather. So we have chips and cheese and gravy and really wholesome. We're missing some of the very British dishes. We don't always do a Yorkshire pudding with a roast or anything, but the food is quite similar. And then now that we have access to all these different restaurants, we have a pretty good menu diversity, the way Britain's food culture is varied as well. But traditionally, we eat potatoes.
That's amazing. That actually sounds very much like kind of a northern meal. You've got like chips and gravy, which
cold. I think anywhere cold, you're like gravy. Yeah.
Good proper stuff. Yeah. So it looks like we maybe have one more meal for you to rate if you're up for it. Oh, I mean, this looks like a painting. This looks like a stock image. So this is Jamie, and he said you decide if they're good or bad. So can we get a little bit of a zoom on that one?
That one looks really nice. I love the different types of cheese. Jamie's made a hummus. I don't feel like this looks like it's from a magazine, actually. So I have some copyright issues straight away. I'm worried that,
Getting a letter through.
Hemsley and Hemsley are going to ring us up in a minute and be like, "Excuse me, what are you doing?" I love chopped carrots and what's this called? Meze charcuterie. It's like a meze charcuterie medley. Some little crackers, olives, and feta is so good. I love this. And it reminds me, there's a Gusto menu, this raclette cheese with little gherkins and salami and on a bed of like really thinly sliced potato. I love a sharing plate. A sharing plate's great.
I do. I have to say, like, one of the things that I miss most about, obviously, when we could go out is like one of my favorite like local restaurants. You could just order like a whole block of, what's the cheese that you bake? The squishy cheese.
Camembert.
Yes. That was amazing. Like, I miss that so much, and it would look like this. So I mean, that has really reminded me of it. So when we were talking then about local restaurants, though, this is part of the campaign. If you just joined us, obviously we've been rating plates, but it is part of a more kind of serious thing to help the restaurant industry, which obviously has been struggling during lockdown. Do you want to just have another reminder of that for people who maybe just joined?
Yes, if you just joined us now, we don't want to see independent restaurants leave the high street. So we're asking you to go to gustocookstarter.co.uk, nominate your Can't Live Without local restaurant. The top 5 most loved will receive £10,000 mentorship, marketing, and their best dish featured on Gusto menus for everyone to enjoy. And that is a real boost to Britain's diverse food industry and food culture. And I'm so happy to be a part of it. And you have until February 7th to nominate your local or independent restaurant that you love.
Brilliant. Thank you so much then. So, I mean, do you have any parting wisdom for your fans who are tuning in?
General wisdom?
Any pearls of wisdom? I might have put you on the spot there, but yeah,
that's okay.
A lovely lockdown message for everyone.
Sure. I feel like it's very relevant to Facebook comments, and that is never argue with an idiot. Otherwise, people can't tell which one of you is the idiot.
That's perfect. Well, thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure having you with us today. Thank you so much. And hopefully check out Catherine's campaign as well. Thanks again.
Thank you. It was nice to speak to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.